It's December 18th, 2022, and I'm going to go over a few points for American Christians to unite upon throughout this nation across state lines to secure a free society and a future where humanity can continue to flourish in its natural form in the face of the widespread attack being committed against Americans and globally, against our culture, and against human society operating in the way that it has for thousands of years and generations. The attack on people's bodies and rights and capitalist society and an economic system that is free from government interference and so on. Those are just some examples, but the main point is that we would do well to unite together on some common values to stabilize society while there's so many forces coming against America to destabilize and to polarize society and to pit people against one another, because united we stand and divided we fall, and the people behind these societal attacks know that. So to secure our freedoms and to unite together, we can unite together as Christians, all people who acknowledge Jesus Christ as the Son of God and see the Bible as the ultimate authority on human morality and the designs for society is a major unifying factor. The majority of Americans are Christians, about 60% according to one poll, and if all of us unite together, instead of fighting against this system that is so deeply infested and compromised, we can unite our forces together in our common values and begin to work from the grassroots up to stabilize society and rebuild society upon the Constitution, at least the aspect of society that is the government. And government is essential for the safety and prosperity of a land. That's been proven all throughout human history. The benefits of a strong and a righteous government far outweigh the risks of having no government at all in total anarchy. There is a need for a strong government, but the solution is to have a government that is submitted to the will of the people and that is highly limited. The founders originally designed the American government to simply work for the safety of the land and to be a strong enough system to be able to withstand destructive forces against the nation. But now the institution of the United States government is being wielded as a destructive force against the American citizens. So that has strayed completely from its original design. But as these attacks continue throughout society, if we unite together as the people and we work to build what was originally built, and that is the constitutional republic of the United States government, then we will be a strong enough people able to withstand the forces that are going to be coming against United States citizens and that have already started to come against us throughout the past 3 years. In the upcoming years, the upcoming decade, there are plans to totally conquer America by 2030 and to bring in lawless policies and total surveillance and reduce humanity to a worthless commodity. And it's our duty as Christians to unite together and to work to secure a society and a government that will value human rights and protect human rights and be very limited. It's pretty simple. It sounds complicated. It sounds like a lot of work, but if all of us get on board in some way or another, we are a powerful people. There's far more of us than there are of them. And if we unite together and take action and realize that we are literally under attack and our country is under attack, then we can start to make choices that will secure the blessings of liberty for this generation and for future generations. Morally, there's compromise being introduced to society about what is morally virtuous. And if we look to Scripture, we can see that God made mankind male and female, and obviously that's being attacked by the government and by the mainstream cultural influences. Also, biblical romance is between a man and a woman, and that also is under attack. And some people falsely think that it's hateful for Christians to not respect homosexuality, but in all actuality, all Christians and all people who decide to follow the divine ways of Jesus Christ are called to give up something, and we are all called to self-denial in some form. For instance, heterosexuals are called to abstain from intimacy outside of marriage and called to be faithful. And Jesus said that foxes have holes and birds have nests, but the Son of Man hath no place to lay his head, and that we should deny ourselves, take up our cross, and follow after him. So the Christian faith and living along the lines of God's design for our human lives requires denial of all people groups are called to a form of self-denial and an embrace of God's design and a lifestyle that partners and cooperates with the natural design for humanity. So that's a topic that is being criticized by the media, Christians' morals on that topic. And so if we stand together, united on these topics of morality, all across the nation, it's going to be a lot harder for them to persecute us and to take away our rights and freedoms when we stand for God's ways. Another topic that we can unite on, and that is fundamentally an American value, is that we don't judge people based on the color of skin, but by the content of one's character, as Martin Luther King said. And we believe in equal rights for all people. There's this agenda to promote polarization between races, and that totally goes against the majority of conservative Americans throughout this nation. So that's one topic that we can be boldly speaking up about and uniting on. All across this nation, we can collectively separate from the establishment and this corrupt government that has strayed so far from the founders' original design for excessively limited government. We can begin to pull our support from these organizations and unite together as the people in rebuilding new systems. Jesus said, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called sons of God." The enemies of humanity and people operating in their flesh and carnality want to bring destruction and see collapse. But we should be working for a peaceful society and be thinking of practical solutions that we can apply to our lives to secure a peaceful society where the country can be built up and really, in the long run, continue to advance and grow and be a safe place. One aspect of our individual human lives that is essential for ensuring our freedom is having independent lifestyles that can't be coerced by the establishment and by the institutions of the world. One way we can do that is being able to create our own resources and have relationships with uncontrolled outlets to get our needs met. For instance, local farmers or small local businesses. That's one of the reasons throughout the past 3 years they worked so hard to collapse the economy and put small, local, family-owned businesses out of business was because it's easier to control the population if they own all the businesses. If the majority of the businesses where people get their resources and their needs met are corporately owned, then they can have more power over the people. So if we begin to cultivate lifestyles of independence in that way, we have a greater chance of securing our liberty. There's vast amounts of Americans and Christians throughout this nation who care about humanity and who don't want to go along with this invasion of our society being committed by the government and the corporations of the world. So when we partner together across state lines and work for a prosperous future, we can accomplish great things. So I'm glad to be in this fight with you. God bless you.